Deputy Prime Minister and Minister of National Security, Honorable Sinclair Leacock, has indicated that the government is committed to ensuring accountability and transparency in public financial management while maintaining the independence of the Audit Office from political interference. Speaking during an appearance on a Grenada-based online program, Ride Along, Minister Leacock said the government is gradually uncovering evidence of alleged misappropriation of public funds under the previous administration. However, he did not provide specific details.
More important than being free of political interference, to the extent that it is an autonomous department, you also have to make sure that it is properly resourced, that the funds are put at the disposal of the director for it to do his and our work. And we are not going hunting and overnight pursuing the administration, but we're already seeing indications are coming to the fore of a lot of improprietous behavior. I use that word at this stage, which is short of saying criminal behavior. But I suspect that as time moves on and you begin to dig deeper, you would see that there's been not a proper accountability for government funds and resources and assets. And these things will come to the fore. And when they present themselves, I'm sure the Prime Minister will give instructions on how we should deal with them.
The Deputy Prime Minister explained that any findings must be handled through established legal and administrative process to ensure fairness and credibility. When asked whether the New Democratic Party government would formally investigate the alleged misappropriation, Minister Leacock said there is a defined process for doing so if the government decides to pursue that course of action. He added that the final decision rests with Prime Minister Dr. Godwin Friday.
There's due process. There are clear distinctions in our society between what is executive function and what are judicial functions. If for example, something is unearthed by way of an audit report and inquiry, or it is so stark before your eyes, maybe a circumstance that initially looks like a misappropriation or a misbehavior in public office, then clearly there are procedures how you go about that. And the Prime Minister himself is a lawyer. He has a very, very sharp Attorney General, and they will put in place the mechanisms to deepen that investigation so that whoever is found wanting can have their day before a court of law and defend themselves. So I'm not getting ahead of myself and suggesting that because that I'm looking for headline news that people are going to go to jail. But clearly, if the evidence presents itself of misbehavior in public office, then there's an obligation to represent the taxpayers' interest in civil and the grenadines.
Meanwhile, Minister Leacock noted the country's public debt, estimated at approximately $3.5 billion, continues to be a major concern, particularly as citizens bear the burden through higher costs and limited fiscal space. Turning to economic recovery measures, the Deputy Prime Minister said that the introduction of a citizenship by investment program remains under consideration by the new government. He explained that such a program could serve as one avenue for generating revenue and helping to alleviate the debt burden on the population, once implemented with appropriate safeguards.
And we have for a long time argued that there's merit in the case, controversial as it may be, that the Citizens by Investment Program, or CIP as some countries call it, is one of the routes that we could influence or impact the numerator in that equation. We have to get more money in the economy to do the things that satisfy basic needs of our people. Over and beyond that, the Prime Minister is on record of saying that as far as he's concerned, he's supported by all of us in his cabinet, that basic wages in St. Vincent and the Grenadines are low. It's the lowest in the Eastern Caribbean. And a lot of people can't make ends meet. So we have to do all of those things and do them simultaneously.
Minister Leacock reiterated that the government's focus remains on prudent financial management, transparency, and policies aimed at reducing the economic strain on citizens. The government of the Republic of China and Taiwan has provided a US $3 million social relief grant to the government and people of St. Vincent and the Grenadines. The official handover ceremony took place on Tuesday, February 3, 2026 at Cabinet Room. Speaking at the ceremony, Ambassador of the Republic of China on Taiwan to St. Vincent and the Grenadines, Her Excellency Fiona Fan, highlighted the close diplomatic relationship between the two nations, which has existed since 1981 and is built on shared values of democracy, freedom, the rule of law, and mutual respect. She emphasized that Taiwan's cooperation with St. Vincent and the Grenadines is rooted in connectivity, linking infrastructure developments with people-centered progress. Ambassador Fan referenced Taiwan's support for major national projects, including the Argyle International Airport, the Kingstown Modern Port, and the ongoing construction of the Arnoldsville Acute Care Hospital. She noted that these initiatives contribute significantly to economic growth and social development across the country. The ambassador also reaffirmed Taiwan's readiness to expand cooperation in key areas such as education, agriculture, health, public safety, the blue economy, and sustainable tourism. She further underscored Taiwan's commitment to standing with St. Vincent and the Grenadines during times of need, describing the social relief grant as a tangible expression of friendship and solidarity between the two nations.
At the same time, we deeply appreciate St. Vincent and the Grenadines' unwavering support for Taiwan's meaningful participation in the international organization, enabling Taiwan to share its expertise through good governance with the global community. This, too, is a vital form of connectivity for Taiwan. The practical cooperation between our two countries continue to deepen across key sectors, including education, smart agriculture, health digitalization, and the application of technology to enhance public safety. Guided by the government's new policy orientations, Taiwan stands ready to explore in advancing economic diversification and national resilience, embracing emerging frontiers such as the blue economy and sustainable tourism. True connectivity goes beyond infrastructure. It is about connecting people to opportunity and nations to a shared future. Today, we commend the government of St. Vincent and the Grenadines for its leadership in advancing the social relief project. It provides timely support to families and strengthens social stability, aligned with the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals. Taiwan understands the importance of such efforts, as we too face challenges such as declining birth rates and the demand of greater social equity. It is from this place of shared solidarity that, on behalf of the government and people of the Republic of China, Taiwan, I am honored to present a social relief grant of $3 million to the government and people of the St. Vincent and the Grenadines.
In response, Prime Minister Dr. Godwin Friday expressed sincere appreciation to the government and people of Taiwan for the generous contribution. He noted that the grant equivalent to EC $8,064,600 will be used to support vulnerable families, strengthen communities, and reinforce social institutions throughout the country.
Mention some of the projects that we have benefited from, loans from various institutions that have helped to build infrastructure in this country. The modern port, the hospital out at Arnoldsville that is being constructed. This grant here today is an investment in people. It shows that there is a commitment, not as important as infrastructural projects are, to develop the country, that we also value the importance of investing in social needs, in real flesh and blood people as we go forward. Now, not just sometime in the future. And Ambassador, I want to thank you and the government and people of Taiwan for this generous donation, and I can assure you that This will go to meet very real needs in our communities, strengthening institutions, social institutions.
Prime Minister Friday also reaffirmed the strong diplomatic ties between the two countries and their shared commitment to democratic values, good governance, and international cooperation.
We have, as you mentioned, for a long time had good, close diplomatic ties. We have had you have helped us in times of need, and we have been there for you in times of disaster. Of course, we more recently have had to rely on that, but whenever there is a call, that you're there to answer, and I appreciate that very much. The generosity that you have shown is not lost on us as a people in this country, because one thing that we know is how to appreciate those who extend their hand in friendship and to show that gratitude. And I want to thank you so much on behalf of my government and the people of St. Vincent and the Grenadines for this very generous grant here for the social relief project. As we go forward, of course, you know some of the priorities of our government. I've heard you mention that there will be continuing collaboration and support. We have a great interest. We campaign very heavily in developing our blue economy, and I know that your country has particular expertise in this area to help to develop our fishing industry. You've had a lot of work that you've done in agriculture. We will continue to work on that and to build even further. These are things that I know that we will have very close collaboration going forward, and we look forward to exploring ways in which we can benefit from your expertise, and that we can have mutual benefit as well as we go forward, because we have shared values in democracy and commitment to the rule of law, and the value of international multilateral institutions. These are things that we share in common.
Both governments express confidence in continued collaboration as they look ahead to the 45th anniversary of diplomatic relations later this year. Opposition leader Dr. Alf Gonsalves has expressed hope for a continuation of government relief programs implemented in 2024, citing their importance in easing the financial burden on citizens. Speaking during an interview on Star Radio this morning, Gonsalves emphasized that rising cement prices have placed additional pressure on the construction sector and the wider economy, making it necessary for relief measures to remain in place. He noted that without continued support, many individuals and businesses could struggle to manage increasing operational and building costs.
But as of Monday next week, cement which comes up from Trinidad Cement Limited would cost nearly $9 more. Easy, a sack. Basing it on the prices provided by the report in the Guardian newspaper this morning. I pointed out to people what you know, that these commodities, we have no control over them. What we have to try and do internally is to produce more, to earn more money, so that we can be able to buy things from overseas where we have to use foreign exchange. It's important for us to understand this. We don't have a control over the cement price coming in. But what we did, we made sure that at the port, you didn't have to pay any import duties or any VAT at the port on cement since July the 1st, 2024. And I'm hoping that the new government will continue with that particular policy. I haven't heard any announcement about it.
Furthermore, Gonsalves highlighted concerns surrounding fuel prices, noting that they are also likely to be affected by rising global costs. He stressed that the fuel plays a critical role in transportation, agriculture, and commerce, and said arrangements should be made to establish financial mechanisms that would benefit St. Vincent and the Grenadines as a whole, helping to cushion citizens from further economic strain.
Similarly, the fuel price. What we have to do is to see if we can assist by using our role in CARICOM and talking with the Americans now that America and Venezuela are having some kind of an arrangement. It's still unstable, but within that mix, to see if we can get some version of Petrocarib come back so that VINLEC could be under less pressure and the country could be under less pressure with the oil prices. We wouldn't get the price reduced, but what we will get is a financing arrangement which would make it possible for us to benefit from the financing arrangements as a country, in the sense that you get credit for over 20 years at 1% interest. So you're in a better position to manage your own external account in relation to an important commodity like fuel for electricity.
The opposition leader added that sustained dialogue and strategic planning are essential to ensure long-term economic stability and national development. Minister of Education Philip Jackson joined the global observance of World Read Aloud Day by encouraging Vincentians to embrace the power of reading and the importance of literacy in national development. World Read Aloud Day is observed annually to highlight the role of reading aloud in strengthening language skills, improving comprehension, and fostering a lifelong love of learning, particularly among children and young people. In a video shared on his Facebook page in commemoration of the day, Minister Jackson urged citizens to share the gift of reading with others, noting that reading aloud plays a vital role in helping individuals develop strong literacy skills, build confidence, and improve communication abilities. As part of the observance, the minister read a popular Dr. Seuss book, Green Eggs and Ham, using the activity to demonstrate the importance of making reading fun, interactive, and encouraging, especially for young learners. He emphasized that positive early reading and experiences can significantly influence a child's academic success.
Life, right? That's my daughter, Preston. Would you like them here or there? I would not like them here or there. I would not like them anywhere. I do not like green eggs and ham. I do not like them, Sam I am. Would you like them in a house? Would you like them with a mouse? I do not like them in a house. I do not like them with a mouse. I do not like them here or there. I do not like them anywhere. I do not like green eggs and ham. I do not like them, Sam I am.
Minister Jackson also highlighted ongoing efforts by the Ministry of Education to strengthen literacy at all levels of the education system, including early childhood programs, teacher training, and community-based reading initiatives aimed at improving reading outcomes nationwide. Furthermore, the minister emphasized that everyone has a role to play in promoting literacy across the nation. He encouraged Vincentians to motivate friends, family members, and community members to develop a love for reading, noting that fostering a strong reading culture is an important step toward building a more educated and empowered society.
There's just this wonderful pleasure and gift of reading that we have to encourage. Whether children or adults, we want to be a country that reads. We want to be a people that read. So here's to World's Read Aloud Day. Here's to a happy enjoyable World Read Aloud Day, and let's encourage one another to read, help a child learn to read. Let St. Vincent and the Grenadines become a truly reading.
He added that continued support for literacy initiatives will help create a reading nation where individuals are better equipped to succeed academically, socially, and economically. The National Public Library also joined educators, parents, and communities worldwide in observing World Read Aloud Day under the theme Celebrates Learning. The National Public Library invited primary schools to host read aloud sessions in their classrooms and encourages families to participate by reading aloud with their children at home. Members of the public were also encouraged to visit the National Public Library, its branch libraries, or browse the webpage to search the library catalog, access ebooks, and the EBSCO database, borrow reading material, and explore resources that support literacy and lifelong love for reading. In other news now, the J.F. Mitchell Airport in Beckway is expected to be closed to all flights from Friday, February 6th to Tuesday, February 17th, 2026. According to a news release from the Argyle International Airport AIA, the temporary closure is part of ongoing efforts to maintain the highest standards of aviation safety and operational reliability. The release states that the works form a critical component of a routine airport maintenance and are necessary to ensure the continued safe movement of aircraft operating at the J.F. Mitchell Airport. It further notes that every effort is being made by the AIA management and the Civil Aviation Department to work closely with contractors, airlines, and other relevant stakeholders to manage the project safely and efficiently. Safety and timeliness, the release emphasized, remain the foremost priorities throughout the duration of the works. Upon completion, the improved runway is expected to enhance operational resilience and strengthen the J.F. Mitchell Airport's vital air connectivity, benefiting tourism, commerce, and essential services. The public is thanked for its patience and cooperation as the work is carried out in the interest of long-term safety and sustainability. Further updates will be provided as the project progresses. Energize Earth SVG removed close to 2,000 pounds of garbage during a cleanup exercise held over the weekend just below the Arnesville bus stop. The activity forms part of a wide educational awareness campaign aimed at highlighting the environmental impact of improper garbage disposal, particularly at the Arnesville area, which has been identified as a major litter hotspot. The cleanup campaign is funded by the Caribbean Natural Resources Institute, Connery, under its Blue Tourism Initiative. One of Energize Earth's SVG's directors, Lucina Poya, emphasized the importance of combining educational awareness with hands-on cleanup activities, noting that this approach creates a wider and more lasting impact on environmental protection. She said, while cleanups help to remove waste, education is critical in changing behavior and preventing the continuous dumping of garbage in vulnerable areas.
We did take a weight of the total amount of garbage, and it came out 2,000 pounds of garbage. What we noticed out down here is that when you pick up the top layer, there was a layer underneath, and when you picked up that, there was another layer underneath. So it was just layer upon layer of garbage, and we cleaned from the top part coming right down to the bottom part. They have cleaned the site before, but 1 week later, garbage always returned. So this time we said, instead of just having a cleanup campaign, we wanted to also have an educational campaign that goes along with it. So we've just finished the cleanup campaign. The next part will be the educational campaign, where us, along with our partners, will be going into various schools to talk about the effects of pollution on our health and on the environment, especially the marine environment.
Communications and Public Education Officer with the National Parks, Rivers and Beaches Authority, Twanik Barrow, also participated in the exercise. Barrow expressed concern over the continued disregard for the environment, noting that the location is frequently littered despite repeated cleanup efforts.
To be responsible as it pertains to disposing your garbage. And I think that is something that we have been trying for years to get persons in St. Vincent to understand. My former director, he would have left something with me. He said, when we learn to value our environment, then St. Vincent will be a better place. Not just better, but cleaner place. And that's what we're hoping to do. And we are obviously excited to support Energize Earth in the environmental awareness campaign. Cleanups, I always say, is just a little part of it. What is important is individual action. And individual action starts when persons understand that they have a responsibility to keep the environment clean, when they develop a sense of pride and value for the environment, and then we can see change, real change that is going to impact everyone.
Members of Greenhouse Lab SVG also took part in the cleanup exercise, underscoring the importance of both environmental education and enforcement. Group members indicated that they would like to see stronger enforcement of the SVG Litter Act of 1991 to help deter illegal dumping.
So I'm pleased to be able to do something to better my nation, because I love St. Vincent and the Grenadines, and I really want to see it be a clean place. So as our hashtag for this cleanup is learn the impact, trash the habit. Meaning that if we understand the impact that garbage and littering have on our environment and on us, we will be more likely to trash the habit of littering our environment. One thing I really will want to see happen is that the Litter Act in St. Vincent and the Grenadines be enforced.
When you see somebody littering, please encourage them. Please do not do it. You please use the garbage bin. We are in Energizer. We are calling on the ministry as well to enforce the Litter Act, because they are not just here in Annisville. There are a lot of littering all around Kingston, St. Vincent, and we really need to have enforcement. We need to have a team in place.
We were shocked to see the amount of KFC packs, massive food papers, bottles, household item, food stuff. We were shocked to see these type of item here. And we are happy that to be part of this with Energize Earth. We're partnering with Energize Earth. We're supporting them on this cleanup initiative. And we are happy that they're also including the education awareness, because cleaning hair alone will not help it.
As part of the Environmental Awareness Project, Energize Earth SVG will conduct educational talks at 4 schools, install a locally made garbage bin at the site, and erect a billboard to discourage littering and promote responsible waste disposal. The project is scheduled to conclude in March 2026. The Center for Enterprise Development, Inc. CED, will be hosting a 3-day climate change adaptation workshop under the Unlocking Opportunities Through Climate Change Initiatives UOCCI project funded by the OAS. The workshop is scheduled to take place from the 24th to the 26th of February at the SVG Teachers Cooperative Credit Union Conference Room, 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. It targets members of community groups and organizations throughout the country and is designed to increase awareness about climate risk and vulnerabilities in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, equip participants with practical tools for climate risk assessment and adaptation planning, promote climate-smart business practices and community resilience, and foster collaboration across sectors for integrated adaptation strategies. The CED is inviting local community groups to participate in the workshop as climate change is unfolding and extreme weather events are constantly increasing in frequency and intensity. The workshop sets the stage by grounding participants in the science of climate change and its real-world implications globally, regionally, and locally. It builds a shared understanding of key concepts while encouraging reflection on how climate risk intersect with livelihoods, equity, and the development priorities in St. Vincent and the Grenadines and the wider region. The workshop will be facilitated by climate change and hazards management specialist Mrs. Nyasha Antrobus Cyrus. Interested persons are asked to register online. The 3-year UOCCI project is funded by the Organization of American States, the OAS, through its Development Cooperation Fund, DCF, and is being implemented under the OAS DCF 2024 to 2027 programming cycle to support, recognize, and foster contributions of women and underserved communities to create a more inclusive and effective approach to climate action that benefits everyone. The goal of the UOCCI project is to reduce the impact of climate change, to enhance livelihoods, and increase economic opportunities for women and vulnerable communities. So on the local scene, the Royal St. Vincent and the Grenadines Police Force is investigating the circumstances surrounding the death of a worker at a construction site in the Villa area near the Moonshine Restaurant and Bar. According to preliminary reports, the man fell from a steel structure and sustained serious injuries and was subsequently rushed to the Milton Keaton Memorial Hospital for medical treatment. He later succumbed to his injuries. SVG-TV News will provide further information as we receive it.